We're just normal men.
What do you mean, normal men?
We're just innocent men.
It's time for Side Scrollers with me, Stuttering Craig.
I did. Oh, wow! Right on the tip. Just on the tip.
And Blabs. Co-hosted by our friends from around the internet.
There is a portion of Norway where it is legally required to carry a firearm at all times.
If you're just a normal man looking for common sense in this crazy-ass world, you've come to the right place. And now, broadcasting from our homes from around the internet, it's time for Side Scrollers.
Okay, you ready? Open wide!
The fuck? What is going on? Why are things breaking all the time? I don't even understand. What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday to you. Welcome to Side Scrollers on YouTube.com and Rumble.com, and most importantly, SidescrollersPlus.com. Ladies and gentlemen, we are investing in our infrastructure here at Side Scrollers, and we will continue to improve on the day-to-day basis. What the fuck is going on? Hello, Blabs.
Hi, listen, it wasn't me. I didn't do it. I feel proud of myself.
Lies, it's always Blabs' fault. Just want to let you know that.
I was waiting for you, like, hello, happy Monday. You just yanked me right off the screen. Anyway, hi, guys. Hope everyone had a good weekend.
Yes, the weekend was big, it was long, it was going hard. It was a lot.
It's 2 days.
2 full days.
It's like the same as every other weekend.
Good. Well, you feeling good? You ready to go?
Yeah, I got a lot of shit done this morning.
Got a big week ahead of us, everybody. Big week ahead of us. All right. It is Monday. Joining us, as always, it's the wonderful Flash that is yellow. What's up?
Yo.
What's going on?
Got my black coffee here next to me.
It's ready to go.
No peppermint.
I'm maybe a little almond milk.
Oh, almond milk in there. Well,
Yeah.
squeeze the milk out of them almonds. Just squeeze
It's like in Meet the Fockers, you gotta pull the kitty nipples.
I gotta count all the calories.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's true. At a certain point, you got to count all the calories. By the way, we actually have a video about that today, which I'm intrigued to hear what you have to think about this, because
Is it the carnivore diet? Because I have nothing good to say. I have nothing but good things to say
I
about
was
it.
gonna say, huh?
No,
Yeah, the
it's
carnivore diet, it fucking works. I'm telling you.
No, I'm telling you, we had a video today, which I think you're gonna blow your load over. All right, if I don't want to get too graphic on here, I know, Blabs, just chill with the face.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
It means you can
You
be very
wanna get too
excited about it.
graphic over, and he's like, you're gonna blow over. Like, what?
Blabs, it's an expression.
Who?
amongst
Who
friends.
says these things? Just you.
Flash, clearly you've said that before.
I think that tells you everything you need to
Did
know.
he die? Okay. But I'll tell you, I guarantee this guy has. It's Eric from You Mean the Movies. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, I've had a long, hard weekend. I was blowing loads all over the place.
See, there you go.
That's why the walls behind him are that color.
Yeah, he's painting.
You're going off with the innuendo today, Craig. Jeez.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like this is a well, at least where I grew up, this was a common vernacular as a teenage young man and into your 20s. And you get so excited you blow.
Gay!
It's quite opposite.
No, I'm
It's
just
the
saying
opposite of
'cause
gay.
You always say you're queer and everything in here, so yeah, I was tying it all together.
No, I don't always say that, Blabs. I said it one time on the
you
show.
said it like 5 times in band camp.
Craig,
I don't
are
even
you trying
go to
to
band camp.
Are you trying to say you're no, not immature, premature? Are you trying to say you're premature?
Both extremely immature and premature. Both, Eric. Both. What, Blabs?
Was there a Gears of War announcement today?
I saw something about that just popping through here. Gears of War Reloaded comes to PlayStation 5.
Is that
There you
real? Does it have multiplayer? That's what I care about.
Well, I'm looking at this right now. We're not getting into hard news, but we might as well talk about this. There it is right there from PlayStation. Rev up your Lancers, Gears of War
Let's
Reloaded.
go!
Wow.
This was hinted, right, a couple months ago. How
Now,
they
is
were
the
hinting?
multiplayer in there? Because that's all I care about. I just want to play the multiplayer, old school Gears of War. I used to have so much fun doing Execution. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Did any of you guys play Gears of War?
Hell yes, it's played some
Oh,
Gears of
man.
War.
Let's get some execution going.
Well, that sounds pretty
crazy. I never thought I would see that. Gears of War on a PlayStation console.
Yeah, but like they rumored that months ago. Remember? That's why.
Yeah,
it's
but
not too
rumors are
surprising.
rumors.
Yeah.
We never saw anything, so I kind of brushed it off. But man, that's insane.
You know who's next, right?
Halo.
That's
now
right.
I bet. Now I do believe that Master Chief Collection is coming. Man, that's gonna be wild to see.
Man, it is going to be wild. Well, that's a great way to start your Monday here. Eric, did you ever play Gears of War?
I did. I remember playing couch co-op with my buddy back in the day in college. So,
dude, you're hiding back there and you just lance somebody real quick.
I'm kind of hyped about that now.
Oh, all right. Well, hey, maybe we'll get some games in August 26th. That's the key phrase here. Remastered from the ground up on this. That's pretty cool. So it's going to look pretty. It's going to be better than the Xbox version. You know? So, all right, cool.
It's still so sad that the only games we're getting excited for are just remakes and remakes.
right.
Yeah, but I put so many hours into Gears of War. Man, I had every night, me and same group of people get on there and we would just run, man.
Dude,
good times in that game.
Yes. All right.
That was the reason I got an Xbox 360 was that first Gears of War.
Will you commit? Let's see. What's that? It's me on a PlayStation 5. Let's see. I don't have a PlayStation 5 because there's nothing to play
I'm
for
almost
it.
positive. I guarantee you it's probably coming to Steam.
Okay. If it comes to Steam, you want to run and gun, do some games?
Oh, yeah. Okay, hell yeah.
Good. Like what you're talking about here. This is good. We got a little trio here forming here with Eric. It's going to be super pro gamer, man. All right. Well, look, we have a big show ahead of us. Big show. First half going to be what you'd expect from side scrollers. We're talking about all the stuff, including Trump's tariffs on movies. We got some just more egg on the face of Ubisoft coming from Expedition 33. We have a big streamer getting called out to his face for narcissism, and it's really freaking funny. And then we also have another Nintendo lawsuit. And on top of that, we're going to be welcoming in a new buddy to the show, Lunduke. I think I'm saying that correctly. Lunduke.
Lunduke. I think it is.
Yes. The Lunduke Journal is the channel itself. And Eric is going to be, during this part of this interview, we're going to have a big discussion specifically about YouTube copyright, as Lunduke has, he's going through a little tit for tat right now with Adobe in particular. Or is it Adobe? We'll talk about that a little later. It's a really interesting conversation. And Lunduke is when you think of hardcore journalist man, this guy seems like he's the dude. He doesn't monetize his channel. It's all ad free. He is like the last bastion of journalism in the space of like gaming and tech and just tech in general. So looking forward to talking to this guy as Eric brought him to the show. And now here we are ready to go.
He's no Luke Plunkett then.
No.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
All right. So as always, today's show is brought to you by, speaking of monetizing, this show is brought to you by you over at Side Scrollers Plus. Let's stink and go. We are closing in on some great goals over there. We had this weekend, Blabs visited Whataburger for the first time. So if you'd like to see Blabs' impressions of the Texas institution known as Whataburger, there it is right there, busting out the big dub there. So we got that.
Big W. I always think of the Big W from It's a Mad World. Eric knows that movie. A big W with Mickey Rooney.
What? Okay. Also, this coming weekend, Blabs and Phoenix will visit the now American institution of Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
Blabs went to Buc-ee's and her life was changed right there. Also, this week, we have the season finale. Also, man, so much Blabs. It's ridiculous. All the Blabs all the time. Where Blabs is featured. Now, let me tell you this right now. Eric, you don't ever have to worry about Blabs. You don't ever have to worry about her. I know you saw your success.
Are you spoiling it how it goes?
No, listen, there's no spoiler. It's no spoiler.
It was Battle of the Retards. It was fantastic.
Yes, it is by far the most chaotic, most fun, ridiculously stupid episode. So you can watch that right now over on Side Scrollers Plus, or you can wait till it premieres on Thursday here on YouTube. So,
did you post the Whataburger video yet?
Yep, it's on Plus.
Over on Side Scrollers Plus. Yes.
What's the consensus. Did you like it or not?
Well, you can share, Blabs. It's okay. You can spoil the entire
I
video.
enjoyed it immensely, especially the chicken sandwich.
Wow, really?
Yeah, and the funny thing is, I even say it in the video. I'm like, Yellow Flash said it was mid. We'll see what it is, because I went open-minded, lady. So yeah.
To be fair, I've only had it in a Texas airport, so
Oh.
I don't know if
so
it's...
Food sucks at an airport.
Yeah, dude. Okay, so you had it at let's see, you were probably not DFW airport. You were probably in Love
Houston.
Field. Oh, Houston in Hobby. Okay, yeah, and like people at airports, they don't take pride in their job. You get this, like, we all know that the airport people who work at like fast food places, they're there because they have a job, right? They're not like, I really want to work at right.
As I might as well try this Whataburger.
Yeah, well, you got the shit version, and we listen. I bought Blabs everything. All right, I bought her everything. She tried it all, and some things she liked, some things she didn't.
Free adds a better taste to it, though.
That is true.
Yeah, but I was still picky.
Yo, yes, Blabs is the snobbiest Italian I've ever met, and it's yeah. Oh, she takes that as a pride. That's good. All right. Well, look, you can go check that out over at Side Scrollers Plus. We should probably do like a promo code for food or Whataburger or something, but we'll figure that out. Lots of good things happening. Really appreciate your support over there, and we have more value coming your way very, very soon. With that said, friends, we always like to start the show with Today in Video Game History, and today we have, hopefully, Blabs, a very big one on the list.
I don't know. You tell me. All right, everybody. May 5th, we have Wolfenstein 3D.
Oh my God!
What? Wolfenstein? Whatever. Steam,
Okay.
Stein, 1992. We have Dungeon Lords, released in 2005. I had no idea what this game was. Escape from Russia, Mobilization, released in 2023. Yay!
We got some Wolf and Kevin Steen over here. That's good. That's a.
I remember playing Wolfenstein on my shitty compact computer in the 90s. Remember those computers?
Yes, I do. Absolutely. All right. Well, Blabs, congratulations. You got Wolfenstein on the list. Just let's not make the mistake again.
Wolfenstein?
Stein.
You're lucky I didn't put Zoocube in.
Yes, we are lucky you didn't put Zoo.
And Over the Hedge.
Mm-hmm. Okay. DreamWorks Over the Hedge. Remember that classic right there?
That was a great movie.
Okay.
You know, I don't even think I've actually seen it. I've seen like bits and pieces on TV when I was a kid, but I don't think I've seen the whole thing.
I'll take your word for it. Einhander released 27 years ago for the original PlayStation in 1998. We got, it's always great when you get an SNK Classics collection. I actually think I own that, which is good. I think
it's a slow games release. So
yeah,
it was a pretty weak day.
This is a pretty big one. Plants vs. Zombies for the PC. And Top Gun for the iOS. Let's stink and go. All right.
I didn't know that was a thing either. I was like, really?
What?
iOS Top Gun game?
Yeah, it wasn't. It was just, one of those, probably made a couple $1 billion in no game you never heard of before. Wolfenstein: The Old Blood released for PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox 10 years ago today. And Yumi and Her, a love story, released.
What is that, like some kind of cuckold story or something?
Yeah.
Classic.
You, me, and her.
Oh, wait, and her. Yes. Well, I mean, unless you consider Eric as himself, too.
It's a poly love story.
Blab, see if you can find some information about Yumi and Her, a love story. It's always nice to see what these. This is released in during 2020. What a great year that was.
Blabs vindicated with her list.
Oh yeah,
all that she could.
I'm sure Mercenary will come in and let her know that she's fired. I'm sure.
Yeah, probably on a game. What happens when three people are locked down together? You, me, and her.
So I found it on Steam, and it's not bad because it didn't ask for my date of birth automatically, right? The images are clear, no problem. So the synopsis is, a love story is the visual novel medium in its purest form. Will Shinichi choose Miyuki, the beautiful queen bee of the school, or the endearingly awkward misfit Aoi?
Aoi's a guy, I bet.
With art by Suji Santa, these beautifully rendered romances will stay with you forever. Overwhelmingly positive reviews.
Cool, bro.
For all of $29.99.
All right, $49.99. That's good.
It's a Japanese romance game.
I guess.
I
It's
just can't get in those visual novels. Does anybody play those here?
No.
only the parody ones. I've tried doing those, and I just laugh
Like Sex with
halfway.
Hitler?
Well, I've not tried that one, but Craig has.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah,
All right.
The tags of this game before we move on are visual novels, psychological horror, and sexual content. Oh, it's single player or family sharing.
Seems kind of the opposite.
Are you gonna play Sex with Stalin?
Maybe when the time is right, we'll make that as a Plus exclusive over there. We'll do a Plus only stream. Great. All right. Hey, New York Giants fan came in with the joke of the day with the 999. Says, joke of the day. Where do fingers grow? On palm trees.
Well, apparently in the latest Last of Us episode, in that girl's pants.
Ew, yeah, I saw clips of that.
Yeah, Bella Ramsey, the man in that situation, right on top.
There's a shock.
Riley.
Usually, like okay with lesbian scenes, but anything with Bella Ramsey, just I can't get into it.
She doesn't even try to make herself a little bit more pretty, does she? She's like, I'm ugly, yeah. Christ.
Hold on, is this? Oh yeah, I don't understand this girl. Like she's like the new
It's
new
upside
thing.
down. She looks like a potato.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like she's, yeah, okay. I don't understand. She's like completely. Is she going to be the new it? The new it? The new thing?
She's the new Zendaya.
She's fetch. They're trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen.
Stop trying to make fetch happen.
She's fetch over here. Okay. All right. Well, there you go.
I saw a post that somebody was trying to make her the new Rogue, and it's like, fuck out of here.
Okay.
In modern Marvel, though, they might consider it. Could you imagine that X-Men lineup that'd have her as Rogue and then Black Nosferatu as Storm? Killing your X-Men lineup.
No. You gotta have her in that upcoming Ray movie. That's rated B.
Riley says, first, hail Yellow Flash. Second, to answer your question, Yon Blabs. No, she can't act. She has all the range and depth of a ham sandwich.
This is true. So I watched Adventureland last night that has Kristen Stewart on. And I went to Twitter and I was like, can Kristen Stewart act? Because all I've ever seen her is look really constipated and like play with her hair. And she's like, she does that a lot. And I'm like, what is your range?
I'm sorry. I was looking down. What happened? What'd you do?
She's like, Eduardo Jacob, it's like, So yeah, I asked if Kristen Stewart can act, and some people said yes, including Eric. So,
Blabs, I'm sorry, real quick. I looked down one more time.
Yes.
Can you do it?
Yes.
That's it. There's enough time.
I didn't see it. Can you do it one more time?
No.
I feel like
got range. Who's got range is that guy who plays Kingpin. I didn't know he played so many different roles. Like he played the Private Gomer Pyle in Full Metal Jacket, and he played that dude in Men in Black, the alien.
Yeah.
Like that guy's got
yeah.
range. He's got mad
Skin
range.
suit.
I didn't know he was such a good actor.
Now you know, and now you know. Good actors, they just kind of pop on up, and they're great. Blabs, what I'm envisioning for you right here, that gif of Trump who's like he's like doing the things with his arms and the T-Rex arms. I'm imagining somebody putting you side by side next to President Trump doing the T-Rex arms with your.
She does look constipated though, man, and she's constantly playing with her hair. Like I think Kristen Stewart is very pretty. I do when she's like looking normal, not like insane like she looks in the last year or so. But man,
10 out of 10 would.
Like
10
now?
out of 10.
Wait, was looking at those pictures from her in the past. Kristen Stewart, she was hot.
Oh yeah, she's beautiful, right? But like, good.
Put a wig
God,
on her,
acting.
she'd be all right.
Hold on.
She got that lesbian hair now.
Yeah,
so you'd have to put a
awful.
wig on her.
Yo, she got married. I found out she got married last month to a lesbian.
Look at this.
Did she?
Yeah.
That flash.
Yeah, that's why you have to put a wig on her. Talk about her hair.
She's so fashionable. She's so fashion.
Looks like she's wearing like a child's onesie or something.
Here's another one
Hers
for
totally
you.
clashes with the rest of the outfit.
Oh,
Yeah, see, this is what that mind virus does to you.
She looks like a hooker.
Because think about what she used to look like.
yeah.
Yeah, right
Got it.
there,
Yeah, she's
man.
beautiful. Jay.
Boom.
So you're telling me, hold on. You're telling me that
That's the most range I've ever seen on her. A smile. Like, holy shit, what a revelation.
you'd rather have this flash than this? What?
She could be cleaned up. Come on.
Okay. All right.
Clean her up, put a wig on her because she's got that short, weird hair.
You're
She could
telling
be
me
pretty
Flash.
close to the original.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm just saying.
A sundress, put a sundress on her.
You'd rather have this? God, unbelievable.
Yeah, that's what I want right there.
Right. That's what every man wants until they
No one looks
they
good in
get.
tidy whities.
It's right. Yeah, I don't want to see the lady
She's
walking,
auditioning for Superman.
in Hanes over here. It's good.
Brought to you by Haynes.
Oh my God. Hidden Jim Gamer came in and says, "Hey Craig, I'm in the process of getting my book published. I talked about it with you and your brother about 4 years ago. It's titled The Lost Decade." Nice, dude. That'll be great. Good for you. Mr. Melancholy says, "I loved old school Gears of War 1 through 3. Chainsaw gun. Yes, it's great."
We're all using the shotgun, the Ganisher.
Riley says, also, Mark Gallagher 32 is doing an Aussie Explains at the Twiglet Films. All right. Snooty says, Yellow Flash, your Hanson video was on point.
Hassan.
Hanson?
Well, yeah, it says
And
Hanson.
you made fun of my
Bop.
Wolfenstein
No,
Stein?
it's
Blabs. It says Hanson.
he misspelt it. It's
Listen.
Hassan.
Listen, leave
Don't get on
Snooty
me.
alone.
We all,
Leave Snooty alone. Huh?
are you becoming a victim, Blabs?
Of what? You're the
you-
victim of misreading.
I read Hanson, Blabs.
No?
Look on this. Okay, go ahead, Blabs. Read it.
Yellow Flash 2, your Hassan video was on
Oh!
point. That moron got exposed. When
What a bully.
lefties don't have anything, they always resort to yelling. Sides goes for the win. What's up, chat?
What a bully, huh? Blabs the bully.
Big bad bully Blabs.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Well, I got this one. Bear says, la 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 lasagna. You want some lasagna, magnifico, or maybe spaghetti. That's a Weird Al right there. It's good.
Yikes.
Thank you, Barrett. Salad full of Cool Ranch Doritos says, for future guest ideas, can we get the guys from Unsubscribe on-site scrollers? Most of them guys are based in the Dallas area. We'll love to do that. I think I'm familiar with a lot of those guys. Yeah, for sure. Marmalin says, Katawawa. I don't even know what's. Yes, you're fired, Blabs. Get out of here, Blabs. You're fired.
Go back to your tower.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on, let me just find the audio. I gotta scroll.
Labs, you're fired.
Established, yes. Ian says Snow White and the Huntsman, where we were supposed to believe Kristen Stewart was hotter than Charlize Theron. Oh, I know who that is. Yes.
Yeah, so
No.
I
She's
saw
hot,
that too. She was not good in that movie either. No range.
Nick says, hey, y'all. Thanks for the great shows. Just letting you know, I sent a help ticket to locals. Somehow I was unsubscribed and now my membership is gone. That thought that was weird and worth letting you know. Hey, Nick, I believe I emailed you back. And I think you sent it like a week ago, right? Maybe even more. So look for an email directly from me there. Thank you, Nick. And Spoon says, play Sex Divers, the Hell Divers porn game. No, we will not.
No thanks, Spoon.
What, is that real?
I can just hear Flash.
So what do you do to the bugs in that game?
What
Sorry,
have
what's
you-
that?
What do you do to the bugs in that game?
Guessing you really
No,
take
no,
them
no,
to
no,
task.
no, 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 no.
Hey, guess what? It's time for hard news.
Hard news.
Damn it!
Hard news.
There it is. All right.
The look of like betrayal on his face.
Right here.
He's right there. Oh God. Well, thank you for that, Eric. I'm sorry. We need you here every day, just so I
I'll
can get
just
in the
pop
habit
in
of
for
it.
5 seconds just to
Yeah,
Right.
just let himself in and then yell and then just leave.
All right. I saw this video over the weekend and I had to share it with everybody. This is, look, AI is a very controversial thing. I use it on a day-to-day basis with ChatGPT to help me organize things. It's great because I'm not a super organized person. But some people have taken it from an artist perspective, and we've seen all sorts of AI faces created out of it. And now people have gone back and they have started to make classic video game stills into full motion video game, brought them into the current year. And for this, friends, I'd like to present to you Street Fighter 2. Now, this video kind of popped off over the weekend. It's a realistic AI Street Fighter 2 losing poses. Did you guys see this on my profile over the weekend by chance?
I did.
I don't think so.
I saw it.
Check this out, Eric. This is outstanding. I'm going to play a little bit of the music and then we'll pull it down here. But watch Ken in particular, because he looks like he's about to have a nervous breakdown.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Giles looks so beefy, man. He's so beefy and strong right here. And check this out. They go straight into Mike Tyson here, which is who he was modeled after. Eric, what do you think about these?
Pretty good.
These are actually very, very impressive. And if I was to have a IRL Zangief, he does look like Zangief. He would look, I would imagine. We have kind of white guy looking Ryu, however you want to say it, over here. Flash.
Some teeth.
Oh, yeah. Flash, what did you think of all this?
I thought it was interesting. It's more so how like good AI is getting. These are pretty good.
Yes. Pretty impressive for sure. This is Nightmare Fuel Blabs.
Ew.
Keeping his tongue out the entire time. Look at it. There's your new profile pic, Blabs.
No. What, you saying I look like that or something? Don't answer that. Move on. Pivot.
Dalsum over here looking like an old ass man, tired of life over here, but still holding up that number one. Damn, that's pretty good stuff. I think this is like really impressive. And here's Ken having a fucking nervous breakdown. A product of today's generation.
The hands are still kind of janky.
Yeah, the hands are very janky. Look at Sagat with his mustache here. He's got a sweet teenage mustache. Thinking about life. Vega with he also has a mustache. Not looking as beautiful.
He's
I'm surprised he didn't
cutting
cut his
himself
nose off.
though.
Yeah. What's that, Blabs?
Oh, I said I'm surprised he didn't cut his nose off in that little clip. Watch what he does with the sword.
Hey, cut himself there.
He's got a big ass blade. Oh, hold on. I mean, that's what he's got, a big old claw in his hand, you know? Check that out. Oh, God.
Oh, his cheek. Okay, I was looking at his nose. I'm like, bro, I'm pretty sure you cut your nose then.
Yeah. And then we got M. Bison here at the end. There you go. Looking like an old Asian man. He's got his ass kicked, which is, if I can feel sorry for Bison, it's probably him, because he does look like he's been working at a convenience store and just got his shit kicked in. So just saying. Does look pretty bad. Anyways, I was thoroughly impressed by Street Fighter 2 AI over there. Pretty scary stuff, but at the same time, really, really enjoyable. Do you think we'll get to a time where we see an entirely AI generated, like, I don't know, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of how soon will we see an entirely AI generated movie created by a fan that's Street Fighter related or some sort of IP related? What do you think the timeline is on that, Eric?
I think we got about 5 years until we're seeing. I mean, it's crazy to think how far it's gone in the last 2 years. In 5 years, I can see them having prompts for you putting your face in a movie and just you're an Avenger now or something like that. Right? So
they're already using it for movies. I bet 2 years. Look how much better it's gotten in that short amount of time. Yeah. I don't think we're that far off.
Well, Mr. Grant Gregory, who's been on the show several times, he's talked about how it's just exponentially getting better by the day. Like every single day, it gets better and better and better. And and that's really interesting, Eric. You mentioned something, the idea that maybe there will be a point where you can just put yourself in the movie maybe if you want to see yourself, we've had these face filters and stuff. You put yourself on an elf or whatever for Christmas, and you're doing a little dance. But I could see a day where Eric shows up and just puts your face on an actor or some sort of thing. That's just kind of a gimmick, that'd be kind of fun to see.
Prompt, make a Ghostbusters sequel where I'm the fourth Ghostbuster.
Right. That's interesting. But we're not done with Street Fighter here. My main, Chun Li, I saw this young lady on the internet and was thoroughly impressed by her. Check this lady out here. She broke them all, Blabs.
I needed to do that to my back.
I don't know. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
She does look like she could definitely administer some CPR or destroy your back vertebrae. 1000%.
She might be a great chiropractor, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, I thought you were meaning some other way.
Where does your mind go?
Unbelievable, Blabs.
Well, I was reading the chat and they're all like, wood legs.
Yeah, I'm saying I need my back cracked. Yeah. Look at the superior back cracking skills of this woman.
Would be very impressive. You may die. Look at how happy she is too.
She's like, I did it.
Not that over here. This is an IRL Chun Li over here. Which is great. She clearly breaks a lot of these things. As you can see, them all stacked up behind her. This seems to be a regular occurrence. But Blabs, if we were to give you a week of training, how many? Let's see. She broke 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. She broke 15 of these. If we were to give you a week of training, Blabs, how many of these concrete blocks or slabs do you think you could break?
Probably like one, if any. A week of training? How many years has this lady had? Like, let's be realistic here.
I don't know. She
There's a technique to breaking those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Daniel from Karate Kid never broke an ice before, and he broke 7 on his first try.
Yeah, it's true.
Just saying. Eric, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh my god, I just realized Eric's wearing the shirt. That's funny.
Hey, looking good over here. Look at Eric over here, looking sharp in his
Tower Tard.
Blabs Tower Tard shirt. It's good. It's custom-made Tower Tard. Eric always delivers. But Blabs, I'm serious. If we were to get you 5 of those, no, 3 of those, do you think you could break them? And if we gave you a week in instruction,
I could try.
Yeah, sounds like
you guys send me like bricks now.
Yeah, no, we'll do it live over here. We'll do it live down here. We'll do it at a live event. Oh man, now we're talking. Blabs busting through concrete at a live event over here. That'd be great.
I want full-on training and health insurance.
Yeah. We'll give you a week's. We'll get you down a week ahead of time.
Bring a kung fu master in to teach her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that sounds like a great time. Anyways, well, congratulations, Blabs. You just signed yourself up for breaking bricks.
Okay.
Okay.
Chat wants to know if you will dress like Chun Li.
Yeah, why not?
Do it.
Just no heels.
Whoa. You said you will dress like this?
Yeah, it's a pretty dress. I like it.
Okay.
Just no heels. Can't wear the heels.
You will dress like this to break the bricks.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, sounds good. All right.
You got to wear like platform shoes then.
Can't wear platform shoes, but yeah.
You can't?
No.
What about the buns?
I mean, I don't know how to do that. I'm a boy, so if you can have someone do that for me, yeah.
Take her to a hairdresser.
Sure. Yeah, sounds good. Or just let my wife do it, and we'll just be like, "Hey,
I'd work
her hair in buns."
Does your wife know how to French braid?
Yes, she's a woman, Blabs. She knows how to.
Listen, I don't know how to French braid. I'm female, so I'm gonna borrow your wife for a bit. She can braid my hair. Thanks.
Okay, sounds good. All right. This has nothing to do with video games, but it does have to do with things that are great. Look, I spent many hours on trampoline, and I saw this and thought, wow, that's pretty fucking impressive and stupid as shit. This is from dudes posting their W's over on X. which is great. Have you guys seen these videos of these guys busting, jumping on the trampoline, shooting each other up into space? Have you guys seen these?
Of course. I said it
I
to
just
you.
saw this one. I saw you post it.
That's wild,
No,
man.
stop! No!
Shit.
Oh my! And he's like, "Let's go!" He gets up. He's like,
Man, those stunt guys they're insane.
The spotters are heroes. Holy cow!
Yeah.
"No joke."
He
I
almost
thought he was gonna hit the. I
died.
thought he was gonna hit the wall over there.
Uh-huh.
The masters of bounce. My gosh. Oh my God.
That's a good
How
job
much
on
you
him
getting-
too, recovering and falling like that too.
How much you
Yeah.
getting paid to do this shit? Because I'm not doing this.
Okay, Flash. These guys are getting paid $0 to do this.
Well, you actually don't know that. Maybe these guys are all like stunt workers in Hollywood.
People are
think,
crazy, man. I saw
Yeah.
a video of people jumping out of this hot air balloon the other day and shit. Like,
Why?
fuck out of here. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with some of these people.
Well, if you're just looking at how high this guy gets, he's probably 40 feet in the air. Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go outside of that fence, that little fence thing they have, you're about to fucking lose the ability to walk.
Oh yeah.
Number
break
one.
his neck.
Dude, think about that. Like if he went over, he landed. He still
Just a
landed on his
hair
bottom
off.
there. Yeah. Right. This. That's a really good point, Flash. It does seem like the fencing is way too close.
Yeah. What if you land on the fence? Where's the spotters up there, huh?
padding.
Yeah, I would want a little bit more padding around this for sure. And I also love the idea that the only thing that's propelling him to the sky is his bros that are just bouncing at the exact same time.
Double jumping him into the sky.
Hey, that's not double jumping. That's like quadruple jumping over there. My God. But we've all been on a trampoline. That's what it feels like when you get double bounced. You feel like you're going 60 feet in the air when in reality you're going like 4, Oh my God. What's the worst thing that you guys have ever had happen to you on a trampoline?
My sister landed on my arm because I fell. She just jumped right on me. It's terrible.
I broke my sister's
Collision.
leg on a trampoline.
Eric, you broke what?
My sister's leg.
Okay, so Blabs, you said something broke on a
She got
trampoline.
double jumped.
No, she stepped on me. Luckily, I wasn't broken, but like, it was painful, and I had to get iced.
What about you, Flash?
Collision.
Just a collision? Hurt anybody?
Yeah. We hurt each other for about a day. I mean, it don't feel good, like pounding into someone,
I think that's like, I think we'd be hard pressed if anybody's jumped on a trampoline to find somebody who, like, you're harder to find somebody who hasn't been hurt on a trampoline than somebody who has. Like there's like a 80% injury rate for people
That's
on
why my parents
trampoline.
wouldn't let me have a trampoline as a kid because
Yeah.
there's so many accidents,
Mm-mm.
and also like it ruins the ground underneath. Right? No grass grows underneath. It looks ugly. Yeah.
Sure.
We just set up a trampoline for my daughters.
Oh yeah, just set it up.
Yeah,
Hey.
it's got a netting on it and everything. It's a small
See,
one.
they add the net now because you can't
Yeah.
just fly off under.
Launch.
We have rules. They're too little to.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay, cool. I as somebody who got paid to jump on trampolines in my slam ball days, right? I fully endorse the trampoline and the chaos that it causes. It's wonderful. Hey, Bentley came in with the 10, says Kristen Stewart's only acting skills is breathing heavily, is being a heavy mouth breather. She's pretty much that one kid from Hey Arnold. If you know, you know. Thank you, Bentley. Appreciate that. That is outstanding. Marius says M Bison, more like M Bow Bun. All right, thank you, Marius.
Oh, Des is in the chat, and she says we have one at my house without a net because I'm a terrible mom.
Let's go. Let's go, Dez. Way to go. Kratos says when AI gets to the point of creating movies with anyone, then all the people who want representation will finally stop complaining. They can just swap Snape with Eddie Murphy. There you go. That's right, Kratos. Look at the bright side here. Everyone is represented. Flying Dutchman says, for Eric, your Big Fish review with your lady was very touching. A real tearjerker.
Thank you.
It's very
You ever seen
sweet.
Big Fish?
I don't know. Maybe. What's it
Tim
about?
Burton movie. It's about a guy and his dad, and his dad is always told tall tales, and he doesn't know if his dad's tall tales were ever true about his life. Like he doesn't know if his dad's a real person or not to him. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
very touching.
Cool. Maybe I'll
Probably
need to
Tim
check-
Burton. I think it's Tim Burton's my favorite movie of Tim Burton. So
Will I be crying by the time it's all said and done as a dad?
you might.
Damn it.
I didn't cry until afterwards. I mean, I lost my dad in the last 3 years, so
Mhm. Yeah.
I made it through the movie, and then once we started reviewing it, it was like,
Yeah.
And the dad reminded me of my dad. So
Always. Oh, rough. Marius says, just get Blabs to think of Black Snape, and she'll obliterate like 20.
Fucking Papa has to do. Wham.
That Black Snape thing is going to add whole new layers to the show.
Don't even get me started.
Unbelievable.
Aneurysm.
Let me find the video. Hold on.
Oh,
Please don't.
found this of Blabs. Actually, it is confirmed that Blabs wants to hurt Black Snape.
You are racist.
Unbelievable, Blabs. Unbelievable.
Very funny.
Elite Neo came in with the 10. Great to see you, big boy. Says those dudes doing the super trampoline thing could have made it better had they thrown some slam ball in the mix. There you go. See, just put a rim up really high, do some backflips. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Let's go.
Drop a guy into a basketball rim. That would be great.
Yeah, why not? Let's think and go with it. And Marmalin says midair collision bounced off each other. You landed on the trampoline, and I landed on the cement on my ass. Felt great. But to be fair, we were jumping on the garage, off the garage and house roof. See, that's the other thing is that is another reason why women live longer than men. We just want to jump off shit. It's crazy.
I mean, I jumped off shit too. I jumped off a 50-foot bridge.
With some sort of harness on you, I'd imagine. No, you just jumped right
I
off.
free fell. Yeah.
For fun?
Yeah.
You are a dude.
It was funny because I went up there with my friend and we were with like his family and everything. And they're like, all right, you jump here. And I was like, and like when you're looking down, when you're looking up at it, it doesn't seem so high. But when you're up there and you're looking down, you're like, holy shit. And then we thought like this police boat was getting closer and you're not supposed to jump off the bridges. So I was like, fuck, you better go now. So I jumped for it. Turns out it wasn't even a police because I thought they were coming to get me or whatever. So yeah. Fun stuff. But like you just see the pillars of the bridge as you go down and down. And you're like, oh my God, when do I land? And then you finally land.
Were you wearing flip flops?
I have like my Velcro beach shoes, basically.
Okay, that's the worst part when your feet hit.
That is the worst because you're supposed to jump like a pencil, basically. Yeah, and I remember landing in the water and the Velcro's like obviously undid because of all the pressure. And I was basically like in the water going, no, my shoes, and I like had to grab them. Yeah.
I'm looking at this. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm looking at this right now. This is actually kind of some breaking news, I guess. The story you just posted over.
Oh yeah.
Over. This is kind of silly, but we'll use the sounder anyways. File this under what? Thunderbolts.
Wait, spoilers. Spoilers for Thunderbolts because this is.
Oh, who cares?
Listen, I'm being a courtesy call here saying it's a spoiler.
All right.
Yeah.
Thunderbolts is changing its name. Interesting. The cast of Thunderbolts revealed the movie's new title is The New Avengers, as Marvel is updating the title on billboards and posters seen in movie theaters and on ticketing services like Fandango. So if you want to go see Thunderbolts, you're now going to go see The New Avengers, as that's apparently what the asterisk meant here.
Yep.
I feel like you're going to confuse people now.
Yes. That's extremely confusing.
It is a bit, but on IMDb it still says Thunderbolts.
Well, then that's just it. This doesn't make any sense at all. Like all your search engine optimization, everything, it's all out the window after you just spent months planning this stuff.
Doesn't seem very smart for marketing.
You should have just called it The New Avengers from the start then. I mean, that's what they're trying to do here is use that name to get people excited to go see the movie.
Unless this was actually their like planning process where they knew the movie wouldn't do so well because it's characters people don't really give a shit about, and they're like, look at this marketing tactic, and then people are like, let me go see the movie, let me check it out, you know.
This just isn't a winning strategy.
In the title. They've had the asterisks in the title since they announced it, so I don't think it's great marketing either. But it feels like they're trying to get a second weekend bump by changing the title.
That's been done before.
Because the title's different.
It's been done before, though.
Is it a different box office?
No,
That's a
it'll
good
be the
question,
same
Eric.
box
What were you
office.
saying, Flash, though?
Birds of Prey did this because when it came out of the gate, it hit its face. So they changed it to Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey. If you remember that. I
had
remember
no
that because I
idea.
thought it was funny, just like this. So they did that. So, oh yeah, Harley Quinn's in case you didn't know. So now they can invoke that Avengers name to see if they can get people to show up to the theater. But
I
this
think
has
it's gonna
been done
backfire.
before. Yeah, it didn't work for Birds of Prey either.
Yeah, I think it would have been better for their marketing if they just went with the New Avengers. That way, normies would be like, "Oh, it's the New Avengers. I gotta go see it."
I 100% agree. Like that to me as a normie is it's much better marketing. Oh, the old Avengers are done. Now we have the new Avengers. Okay, instead of Thunderbolts.
Yeah, the Thunderbolts are like, what's the Thunderbolts?
This
Like
article
Blue
says
Beetle. Nobody's gonna go see that because they don't know who he is.
right. The article says Marvel fans have been wondering why the official Thunderbolts asterisk title included an asterisk. The answer is revealed in the third act of the movie when Julia Louis-Dreyfus announces the group's name is the New Avengers. So there we go. In the film's post-credit scene, it's revealed that the New Avengers are living in the old Avengers headquarters, now called the Watchtower. They're also in a legal battle with Captain America over copyright infringement of the Avengers logo. Sounds like something that we should get into a legal fight. That'll get you going with a post-credit scene. So
That's probably the stupidest plot point I've ever heard.
says,
Did they ever fight over that in the comics?
I don't know. It's a good question, Flash. Was there ever a legal dispute over the Avengers logo?
In the comics, no.
Okay, good.
The Avengers were disbanded. The new Avengers happened after the disassembled storyline, which was really good. And the new Avengers comic run was really good too. It's just them kind of coming back together. It was this great team too. It had Wolverine and Spider-Man on it, like basically all their top characters.
Well, Captain America Brave New World ended with Mackey's Sam Wilson heading out on a mission to reassemble the Avengers. The Thunderbolts cast will be back in action next summer in Avengers Doomsday, which is likely when the new Avengers are going to have to team up with the original Avengers plus the Fantastic Four in order to stop Robert Downey Jr.'s mega villain. So there we are. All right. So now everybody can be totally confused when the new Avengers team up with the old Avengers, and then we have Robert Downey Jr., who was part of the old Avengers, who is now a bad guy. I don't understand any of this shit. I really don't understand any of this shit.
It's funny because even like Kevin Feige, didn't he say last week, Flash, that like there's Marvel fatigue? So it's like,
Yeah,
it's
he did.
funny when you know, like the top dog is like, yeah, there's Marvel fatigue. It's like, and you're still gonna go? You're gonna keep going?
Yeah, he was saying that it feels like all these new movies are homework.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's like the right way to say it, because I said this before, Blabs. Like, if I miss the first of a series,
No, you're never gonna watch it.
I don't have any desire to go back and watch 3, 4, 5 movies to get caught up on what's happening in the 6th. That's homework. It's a pain in the ass. And I think that's a great way to say it. I don't know. There's definitely something to that for sure. So Marius says litigation, just what I like to see in comic book movies. Let's go. Everybody loves a little litigation. Kratos says, I predicted this about Thunderbolts. That's what the asterisk was for.
See you next time, Kratos. You go and buy yourself a lottery ticket.
That's right.
I put it in the private chat, but it is confirmed Gears of War Reloaded will be on Steam. So,
oh, excellent. Well, then
I'll pick it up on Steam and we can roll out.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Revving up the chainsaws.
Okay. Yes. It's coming Windows PC.
But we have to play it on the hardest difficulty.
Oof. How about we put on the training wheels first, then we get up to the hardest.
I'll carry you. Don't worry. I'm used to it.
I'll carry you. I promise.
That's what co-op's for.
That's right. Carrying Craig, which is good. All right. Let's go ahead. Keep moving on. That was interesting to see. Talking movies here with Eric and Flash here. Did you see the note about the Freaky Friday reboot that's happening? And
Not a reboot,
sequel?
A sequel,
With,
whatever it is. I don't know. Yes.
Lindsay Lohan.
Yes.
Good
Freakier
news.
Friday says, Freakier Friday team says original film's Asian representation was, quote, problematic, but the sequel will make it right. All right.
Oh, there we go. Oh, it's Asian
the
attire,
fortune cookie
all
stuff?
fixed.
What's that, Flash?
So got Asian attire on, so.
That's right. What about you, Eric?
I don't know how this is going to be entertaining at all.
is-
It's a mom swapping with the grandma now, because before it was the mom and the daughter when she was still in high school, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So this is actually one of my favorite movies, the Freaky Friday movie. Like, it's just like a good, nice, wholesome go-to movie. And there was no Asian problems at all in the original one. If you guys don't remember, like, they go to a Chinese restaurant, they get the fortune cookies, and that's basically how they swap bodies in the middle of the night. And they're saying that was, the stereotype, and it was the Asian problem and everything. But it wasn't. What Asians did you talk to saying this was insulting? It's like in those videos where you go up on people in the streets and you're like, what do you think about my my Mexican outfit? And they're wearing like a poncho and they have a sombrero and maracas, and like, oh, you're so stereotypical. But then when you go and see Mexicans, they're like, oh, you look awesome in it. That's awesome. So great. It's the same shit. It's really stupid. So I'm not excited for this. Again, the only pull in that trailer they showed for Freakier Friday was freaking pretty boy. What's his face's name? Chad Michael Murray. That's it.
Well, there were some stereotypes that were hurtful, director Nisha Ganatra told on Entertainment Weekly. I remember watching it and feeling torn, mostly about Asian representation and also the soundtrack that was being used. It was something I brought up right away when I had my first meeting with producers. I had a moment in the presentation that was like, problematic Asian representation.
What? Why
Like,
is
this
it?
chick's not even Asian.
I don't remember what was problematic about it.
That's what I'm saying. It wasn't problematic. They're just making
music
it.
was-
What's wrong with the soundtrack?
It's like
Yeah.
In Japanese.
I don't know.
This is making a problem out of nothing. And I love. Is this a white woman?
Actually,
Who is this
no.
director?
I looked
No.
her up. Yeah, she's not
she's
white.
white passing. So
No, I think she with that name. I'm assuming she might.
She's
be
Indian.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
She's a lesbian in real life.
I don't like the movie. It's problematic.
So I guess technically speaking, she is Asian because she's Indian, and they consider that. But she is.
She's white adjacent.
She's
right.
Canadian American, so
Oh, she's
Oh,
Canadian.
Okay.
She's Canadian, even
Kind of
worse.
summed up now. Okay, got it.
Yeah, I'm trying to find out where she was, like where her parents are from, if they're born in Canada or America, but I can't see that. It says actress of Indian descent. So who the hell knows how many generations ago that is? But yeah, she's Canadian American. She was born in Canada.
Well, she believed that her team owed audiences to make it right on this one. So she worked with screenwriter Jordan Weiss, which does not sound super Asian at all. I'm just going to throw this out there.
Who's this guy? What's he wrote?
I don't know.
Blabs, are you on it?
Looking.
Uh-huh. With little moments that don't betray this movie, but were satisfying for people who found hurtful moments in the last one. Oh my gosh.
Jordan Weiss is a woman.
Oh, of course.
It's a white woman.
Yeah, she's a white woman. As an American writer, director, producer, she created and produced the Hulu series Dollface, starring Kat Dennings.
Well, you know, when you
Kat Dennings.
when you want to make things right with the Asian community, it's always good to go to the white woman in Hollywood.
It's true. They represent us all.
That's right.
She's basically got like 6 credits to her name.
Okay. Well, now she has 7, which is excellent.
So they wrote this script to correct what they felt they wronged in 2003.
That's right. That's how things go.
Dude, nothing. See, I keep saying I don't want this shit. I don't like this shit, and yet everyone's like, ah! And then when I'm like, no, they're like, ah! Ugh.
What kind of world are we in? We're so out of ideas that we're kicking around Freaky Friday with Grandma switching and
Nobody
shit.
asked for the sequel.
Nobody.
It's a lovely movie. Leave it alone. Ugh. Whatever, man.
Well, Blabs, you can look for that very, very soon.
I will not be watching that.
I'm sure you're going to be counting down the days.
No.
I can't.
No.
You're gonna pre-order the tickets. You're gonna drive your hour and a half to go see your
want
theater.
to make me go to the theaters for the first time in 3 years.
Oh man, nothing would make me happier than to get you a review of Freakier Friday. I love that.
Came out of the theaters, so that was shit.
Well, Eric, do you plan on watching Freakier Friday in your spare time?
Only
I mean,
if
you
get
kind
body swapped.
you kind of have to, right? It's kind of your job, right? Don't you love when people do
You're
that?
gaslighting him, poor Eric.
we skip movies all the time. We don't have to watch every new release.
But you talk about movies, Eric, because you got to play all. You got to watch all the movies. You got to watch them all. It's crazy.
I will rewatch the original.
There you
Again,
go.
something from the mid 2000s is gonna be better when it's released today.
All right. Okay, I'll tell you what. That's a great place to put a pin in that, and we'll come back to some other stories in a little bit. Flash, I'm going to let you bounce. I know you got a lot of things you got to get done.
For sure.
All right, buddy. Hey, take it easy. Have a great day. Okay.
Check out my comic.
Yes, go check it out. We'll put a link to it down below. If you haven't picked up a copy yet, do it now.
Buy it today.
That's right.
Bye, guys. Good
Have a
talking to you again,
good one,
Eric.
Flash.
Good seeing you.
Have a good one.
All right, with Flash gone, that gives us an opportunity. Let's just set the table here, because last week, Eric, you DM me and you're like, "Hey, man, there's something going on," because this is about an issue we've talked about before. Why don't you give everybody the set the table for everybody like you did for me before we bring in our guest?
All right. Well, actually, my buddy emailed me the story from Yahoo, because I always have copyright issues, of course. But Lunduke, great journalist, did an article on an insider meeting for Adobe where they were talking about their DEI program and how they've never had quotas for hiring based on DEI practices, but going forward, they would no longer use those practices. And they talked about how they had them, but they never used them. And Lunduke released the video in one of his videos because he got it via a whistleblower. And so he did a whole story on the DEI practices, and he got hit with a copyright strike. And he also did a second video where he followed up on it, and he got hit with another strike. Even though there was no video from Adobe in that second video, they hit him with a second strike on that second video just because he was talking about it again.
Well, it's always good to talk about people, but it's always good to talk with people. So joining us now from the Lunduke Journal, the gentleman you're speaking about. Hello.
Hi.
Great to see you. Nice to meet you.
Holy heavens. Look at you, handsome bunch. Thank you for having me on, guys.
Hey, talking about you there, Eric. Look at him. Look at him right there. There he is.
Yeah.
It's the hat that does it.
That's right. It is. Isn't it great how the headphones go through the hat? It's outstanding.
It's really, did you cut the holes into your hat just to do that?
Yeah. Custom.
That's dedication. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that you answer that like, yeah, of course I did. That's
No, I came this way. I swear.
All right. Well, Lunduke, it's a pleasure to meet you, man. And glad you're with us. First and foremost, tell everybody about your channel and let's get a little background on you.
So the Lunduke Journal has been around for a hell of a long time. We've mostly just been doing tech stuff. I started out just doing tech with a dedication to never touching anything political. This is how it was way back when. I used to be a tech executive, and after I got burnt out on all that garbage, I decided to just talk about tech and never anything political. And over the years, it really hit me that there was absolutely no tech journalists covering anything that was happening in the world of tech from the centrist or right-leaning side of things. And there was even less tech journalists, even fewer, that weren't funded entirely by big tech. So I started sprinkling little political things into my coverage bit by bit to the point now where I'm kind of synonymous in the tech industry with the boogeyman. I'm an evil Nazi fascist because I cover things from a centrist or right-leaning point of view, and Google doesn't pay my rent. So that's what I do. Go to lunduke.com. It's fantastic. And that's kind of my thing.
Everything you just said, Blabs, does this sound familiar to you?
I mean, I was just called a racist this morning, so of course.
Listen,
It's not a day that ends in Y if you don't get called a Nazi or a fascist
Exactly,
at
yeah.
least once.
Mhm.
Okay, so literally everything you said sounds exactly
like our story here on Side Scrollers, where the intention was to not touch anything political at all. And the more we started talking about these things, the more it became super apparent. Like, I've been in the video game industry a long time, just like you have in the tech industry, right? I've been doing this for almost 20 years at this point. And the story, the parallels are eerie, how close that you're speaking, because we get the exact same thing. We're the Nazis, fascists, whatever, blah, 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 because we don't play by the rules, because we're not located in San Francisco or New York or LA, right? Because our audience is filled with normal men, right? So listen, I already feel this connection with you, and I love where this is going. Okay.
We're simpatico. Let's rock and roll.
I love it. I love everything about this. Okay. So you had this, we're big believers in merit on this channel. You know, the whole DEI thing doesn't really fly with us. Like, I think that if I've hired people from all races, reads, sexual orientations, whatever. If you're the best at your job, I will hire you. It doesn't matter. Right.
Bingo.
That's just how things work.
I could care less what color a person's skin is or what random shirt they want to wear. I don't care. They need to do their job.
Yep. I agree. I 100% agree. So you had this story about Adobe and YouTube. So why don't you fill in where some of the holes that Eric had there?
So, all right. So the basic backstory on this is a whole lot of big tech companies are wrestling with their DEI policies right now, and Adobe was one of them. IBM famously is, getting sued out the wazoo right now for some of their DEI policies and the like, which the Lunduke Journal had a part in. And as that's happening, these companies are trying to figure out exactly what to do going forward, especially because they're afraid of Trump, right? The Trump executive orders making it so they can't work with government agencies if they have a whole bunch of DEI programs. That's a big loss of money. So if you look at Adobe's past track record with DEI stuff, they were all in a year ago. A year ago, their SEC filings, like they're literally their stock filings and their financial filings were filled with DEI stuff. It was nonstop. Then this year happens, and the executive orders from Trump happen, and a whole bunch of other things are going on. Different companies are getting sued, and all of a sudden, they have no mention of diversity, of DEI, of anything in their current SEC filings. They started dropping everything. And I started noticing that and publishing and saying, hey, everyone, look, Adobe is just about to ditch all of their filings here. They're ditching all the DEI stuff. This is happening. And then a whistleblower with inside Adobe contacted me and managed to get me about a 7 or 8 minute video of an Adobe all hands meeting. This was from about 2 weeks ago now, I believe. Mm-hmm. And during the all hands meeting, their chief people officer, which is a real job, it's absolutely ridiculous. So their chief people officer, their CPO, gets on stage and she makes the statement. And the man in the glorious hat already read it, but I'm going to read it to you again because it is absolutely asinine. Quote, "We have never hired based on quotas, but going forward, we will discontinue the practice." And this was, don't think about it too hard. It makes the brain bleed and ooze out the ears and all that stuff.
It really does.
It's awful.
Pretty outstanding.
And then the Adobe CEO gets on stage. They have a little panel, and that's the video. And makes a statement that they have a duty to operate within the boundaries of the law, and that they're asking their employees to be patient with them as they make changes. And very quickly, they start removing DEI and diversity words from their websites and documents and all that sort of thing. So I published the video with some commentary. Very quickly, Adobe decided they did not like that. Now, the Lunduke Journal publishes all over the place, right? Up on X and YouTube and Rumble and wherever. They only hit me with a copyright claim on YouTube. And anyone who knows how YouTube works knows that it's basically an automated system.
Right.
If a company comes in and says, "This guy took our stuff," YouTube instantly responds by taking the video down and issuing a strike at the channel. Adobe issued 2 copyright claims against the Lunduke Journal. The first was because of that video. Now, because I'm a working journalist and because this is something in the public interest, it does fall squarely under Section 107 of the Copyright Act, which means it is fair use. And I have a very good case for defending my fair use of it. Adobe's lawyers know that because they're not retarded. However, the second video that they put a claim against me on didn't have any of that video in it. It was literally just me criticizing Adobe. So which means that they lied to YouTube in their copyright takedown claim in order to silence a working journalist who was being critical of their company. I reached out to Adobe. I said, hey, you might have screwed up a little bit here. You need to check this one out. This isn't really going to stand up in court. Are you sure you want to go through with this? You know, maybe you should just rescind this because this is a whoops-a-daisy on your part. They never responded. I contacted their CEO. I contacted their PR and marketing departments. I contacted the social media lady who actually was the person who filed the official copyright notice. Never got a response. So last Friday, I sent in my counter notification to YouTube, which means that Adobe now has 12 working days to legally
10
respond to me. So basically, they have an opportunity to sue me, to get a lawyer to start sending me some very nasty grams, and provide copies of those to YouTube, or in theory, YouTube would put them back up. I have still not heard from Adobe. As yet, it's been complete radio silence on the matter. So that brings us up to today on this one.
So you're legit fighting back, and you're saying, "Hey, come get it. If I truly violated something here, come get it and sue me." You know, and
yes,
that's awesome. Love
I mean, this is sort of a, if you strike me down, I will become more powerful than you can possibly imagine sort of moment. Adobe is Adobe, all right? Adobe already has a bad track record amongst nerds, right? I mean, everyone's pissed off at Adobe's subscription policies. They're annoyed at Adobe's copyright policies. And now Adobe is literally misusing, abusing copyright law and lying in order to silence a critical journalist, whoever it is, whether it's me or you guys or the Wall Street Journal. You have to say no to that. Now, I have not filed legal action against Adobe at this point, because if I go down that road, Adobe has a lot of opportunities to silence me legally in the court system. So for instance, if I file a suit right now against Adobe is well within their rights to turn around and say, okay, fine, but we want the judge to rule that while this court is ongoing, Lunduke can't talk about us, right? And that's a fairly common thing for a judge to rule. And considering my job and the fact that I want to keep talking about this, I have not filed suit against Adobe because of this, even though I probably would be within my rights to do so. I am within my rights to do so, but I probably would do well in the courts. But I would rather talk about it than just get tied up in courts for 2 years.
So what happens if they don't rescind it? And
what happens if they do file suit against me?
Yeah.
Well, there's a couple of law firms that have reached out. It's interesting. It would be amazing to me if they filed suit against me, because I don't know what Adobe would get out of it. Right? I mean, if you're Adobe, what do you get if you file suit against the Lunduke Journal? I'm not a millionaire, right? They're not going to get a lot of money. So there's no financial reward. And it's just going to make them look bad, right? As long as that court case is going on, every time something happens about it, it's going to get covered. And remember the time that Adobe silenced the journalist because they can't handle criticism. I mean, it's the ultimate Streisand effect at that point. And I just don't see how they come out of it making more money than when they went in. It would be a colossal PR blunder for them to actually file suit. Now they could file suit. If they did that, I don't see how they could win the suit unless they got just the most annoying judge in all the land. Now that's possible, but even if they got the most annoying judge, they rolled the snake eyes, and they managed to get the one judge who was like, you know what? Journalists should not be allowed to publish leaked material. That's not okay. You should be able to say, oh, that's a copyright infringement. Because if a judge ruled that way, that would also apply to things like leaked emails. And that would mean that the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, every publication out there would no longer be able to use confidential sources or whistleblowers. So I just don't see that happening. But they could tie it up in the courts for years. I mean, realistically, that's the biggest potential pain point for me. But that's almost far worse for Adobe. If you're Adobe's shareholders or board, do you really want an almost monthly set of news stories about how you, Adobe, are the schoolyard bully and you hate journalists? I mean, you don't want that out there. So I don't expect them to do so. What I expect them to do is nothing. I expect them to not respond to me, and they haven't. I expect them to let the 10, 12 days, whatever it is, lapse, and just try to let the story fizzle out. I mean, if they're smart, that's probably what they'll do. But we'll find out. I mean, we'll watch them as it goes.
Well, there's some other elements to this, which are actually really interesting, which Eric wanted to chime in on when it comes to this, because he's been dealing with copyright claims. Eric's, your channel is called You Me in the Movies. They do movie reactions while being very precise with your editing, I guess is the right way to say, Eric. But you obviously run into copyright issues as well when it comes to your stuff. So I wanted to kind of open this up to you, Eric, about your theory when it comes to a lot of this as well.
I just wanted to ask Lunduke, you said you got the lady, the social media at Adobe is the one that filed, like, how she filed the claim, or that's just so you're assuming did?
When you get for those of you who have never been hit with this before, when you get the claim at you, you get a contact email address for whoever runs the account that is coming against you. Adobe has a Gmail account that is their head of social media, their high-level executive that oversees all of their social media and public outreach stuff, that has a Gmail account specifically for it. So I know specifically who it is because of that. It's registered in her name. Which I think is weird. But after doing a little digging, I verified that it was in fact her, and she was in fact the head of social media over at Adobe. But that's how I know who did it.
I'd be interested to seeing where, like, it's surprising that Adobe is using a Gmail for their contact and not at adobe.com.
So I used to run social media at a company called Sousa. Head of marketing at a couple of tech companies in years past. And it's actually fairly common. I know IBM does something similar. Their main accounts are actually Gmail accounts that deal with YouTube. I know that particular company, Sousa, did the same thing. A couple other companies do that as well. They just kind of what they do is they create a sort of a set of Gmail accounts or a corporate Gmail account that they use for all their Google related stuff. I don't necessarily know if it's a good idea, but many companies do it. So it's not that out of the ordinary, but I wouldn't recommend it personally.
Because I feel like I'm currently fighting a strike on our channel right now for one of our reviews. And the contact on this claim was at Gmail. And that sent me red flags thinking it was a fraudulent claim.
It should.
So,
yeah. So to be clear, everyone, there are a lot of fraudulent claims that are going on. People are doing this all the time. There's just people will get a Gmail account and they will start filing copyright claims with their pseudo anonymous Gmail account at YouTube channels they don't like. This is a common thing. In my case, in the case of Adobe, I was able to track it down because it was a very specific Gmail address, and I was able to track down the person's name and all that and get it a little more verified. But no, that is a really common thing. It absolutely is. So when I saw that, it sent red flags for me, but it also, when I reached out to YouTube, I did get a response from YouTube verifying that it was from their point of view from Adobe. So that's as far as we've gotten. I did give Adobe a couple of chances to verify that, reaching out to their PR and marketing and everyone else, and I just haven't gotten any response at all, which is bizarre.
Okay.
Well, this is crazy interesting to see.
I think so.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it's your business, right? I would imagine. So, what has been? You mentioned kind of the pushback that you receive from tech reporters or just the tech industry. What has kind of been response? You mentioned how you have this. You're the black sheep, right, of the tech industry.
Yeah,
right?
I'm the redheaded stepchild of tech reporting for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, what are some of the, I guess, consequences you've seen by not being traditional access media? That's kind of what we call it here, access media. Have you seen any pushback? Have you had articles published about you?
Regularly. In fact, there was one tech journalist specifically declared that I was a Nazi and that what did he say? That there should be no safe quarter for me. And they basically said that it would be a good idea for people to take me out. This is kind of, that's the more extreme end of things. But the bigger problem has really been that the stories that I break tend to be ignored by tech news media entirely for multiple reasons. One is they just hate me. And I get it. I'm the different politics from what they have, and they can't be seen cozying up to me. Otherwise they're part of the Nazi bar or whatever it is at that point. I get it. But part of it is even more than the politics. If ZDNet or the Register or all these other tech news sites, if they come out and they start covering the things that I'm breaking, like for example, I got a whole bunch of leaks from IBM last year, and these were huge leaks and big videos and slide presentations about crazy DEI stuff. It was nuts. And it was very big news because there were lawsuits attached to it. So from the tech news perspective, it was at the moment some of the biggest news in the big tech world, but they could not cover it because there was no easy way for them to cover it without really pissing off IBM and all the IBM affiliates that advertise with them.
Right.
So they just simply can't cover it at all. And the few times that you will see the news outlets covering it, they really run cover for those big tech companies. And so that's kind of the biggest thing is normally if you're a tech journalist, you put out a news story and you live and die by the other news outlets linking to you. They're like, oh, news from this news outlet. Oh, look at this. And you cover it and you quote them and you put them up, and that's how the traffic gets generated, right? You want the crazy people at Gizmodo to post your article, and then you get the traffic. So I don't have that option, right? So I have to rely on actual normal human beings to go out there and share the word about all of that, because I don't have any of the tech news sites that have my back in it. That's the biggest issue. But as things have grown and as the audience has gotten bigger, that's become less and less of a problem. So there's worse problems in the world to have.
Listen, everything you're saying we relate to. Everything you say we totally get. And
I thought you might.
Listen, we are simpatico here, buddy. It's crazy. And I've always said, like, the video game industry is the most insane industry there is out there. Tech may be right there with it. I mean, it probably is, because it's built in the same areas, same world, same product that are surroundings. We've dealt with the exact same issues you have, and you get labeled all these things, and you're like, what are you talking about? It's just, in these words lose all their meaning when it comes to that. So it is silly. So what's interesting about you, though,
it's silly indeed.
I went to lunduke.com, and
that's the website on the internet, by the way. No crazy CSS, no JavaScript. It is one old style. This thing might as well be up on GeoCities.
I love it. I
like my website. That's all I'm saying right now.
I appreciate that you still have you put your MP4 downloads up.
I do.
It's great.
I mean, at any moment, I could be censored off of any given platform, right? I can't live and die by YouTube. I mean, YouTube, I already have 2 strikes against me at the moment. This isn't even the first round of that. So I have to publish to as many platforms as possible to continue existing. I mean, which is funny because the Lunduke Journal, my shows, no swearing, no adult content. Like it might as well be John Wayne specifically making a show for toddlers. Like it's as family friendly as it can possibly be in this space, and yet I run the constant risk of getting booted off because I'll have a guest on that says something wrong about vaccines, or I'll say something naughty about IBM or Microsoft, and so I have to publish everywhere. So my website is basically just a list of links. Go to these places and find my stuff. It's just the way it has to be.
You have a locals as well with 8,000 members. That's outstanding.
Yeah. The locals guys have been great. I've been over on locals. I was one of the early guys that jumped on board there. They always liked having me on board because I wasn't at all political when I joined. I was just a tech guy, and they're like, "Ooh, someone who's not political." But then I got political.
Well, talk about that, because I think that's really interesting. The shift of, like, we had the exact same idea, and I wouldn't say we've gone political. I just say we pointed out some of the stupidity that's happened in
the
in
people who hate you would say you've gone political.
Right. Of course.
That's really what it is, right? Like, I don't feel like I've gone political either. I've just pointed out stupid stuff. Right. Like, it's like, am I political in my hiring practices? No, I'm a merit-based kind of guy. I believe in the best people for the job. And that seems like the least political stance I could possibly take. But the people who dislike me view that as crazy political. So you get painted with the political brush. So like the Lunduke Journal, like I cover Adobe changing policies, like the Adobe story. Is that a political story? In my mind, it's a story about a company changing hiring and firing policies. Correct. Like that should be the most boring story on planet Earth. It is an HR update policy story.
Right.
But because the other side views that as so political and defends it so viciously and labels you with so many bad terms like Nazi and fascist and everything else, then you become political. Like, you yourself are political by your very existence. That's really how it ended up happening with the Lunduke Journal. I was not political, not viewed political at all, really, until they started to catch wind. They smelled it in the air that I said a few things at a conference one time, and they're like, Lunduke might be, is he libertarian? Is he conservative? They couldn't quite tell, but it smelled bad. And from that point onward, I was the evil empire, even though
it didn't smell like them. And
it did not.
Anything that doesn't smell like them, they are out, and they will hunt you down.
They really will.
Oh my gosh.
This is fun. So I used to speak at conferences a lot, pre-COVID days, right? In the open source and Linux world, I was Mr. Famous Man, right? Which is, kind of like saying I'm like a Q list celebrity, right? It's very, very narrow niche.
Right.
But so I used to go to conferences, and I'd speak at conferences and give these rah shows and get everyone all riled up. And I about a year or two ago, I thought, you know what? It's been a while since I've done that. The conferences are getting back to normal post lockdown, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna apply to this conference, this Linux conference out in Texas. And I submitted a proposal to them. I'm like, hey guys, what if I come and give a big keynote? We'll get a whole bunch of people riled up. We'll bring in a bunch of people. It'll be great. It'll be a big nerd fest. It caused, simply by me submitting a proposal, it caused so much chaos inside the conference. Half the people who were running it loved the idea, and half were like, no, Lunduke is a Nazi. Lunduke is a fascist. We can't. The conference ended up canceling itself completely. What? Because I submitted a proposal. And
let's go.
It went from a 2-day long conference to they ended up just doing like a lunch with like one presentation from like a corporate sponsor. Then they just called it. They just like, forget it. We're not doing anything. just because I did that, which made me feel really powerful. I'm not going to lie. I don't know if I've ever felt as virile in my whole life, but that's the way the whole tech industry has gotten now. It's so extreme that if someone like me or like Brendan Ike, who now runs the Brave web browser, whatnot, any of us conservative leaning tech people appear at an event, the whole thing descends into chaos.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's awesome. And you know what's the most amazing thing about this is, and I'm sure you've run into a lot of this, where you have people who you've worked with in your space who they probably DM you and are like, hey, I really appreciate what you're doing. I just can't say anything about it. You know, they can't say anything about it publicly. Like, get that all the time from people in the video game space. And if people were just vocal about their opinions and vocal about calling out all this stupid stuff, it would all end. It would all end. It'd be done. But people are so scared. They're so terrified of losing something, losing a friendship, losing their job.
They like working in games. I mean, they like their jobs. They make good money. They don't want to lose that. I get it. It's terrible. You get 2.3 kids and a mortgage, and you don't want to risk that. You don't want to get blacklisted. I understand. I mean, I still wish they weren't such pansies about it and they just start speaking up. But I mean, I get where they're coming from, I guess.
Well, we have a lot of support. And by the way, we'll certainly follow your story. And if there's updates to your story, we'd love to have you back to kind of continue.
I'll keep you posted. We'll see. I expect this story to fizzle out. At least that's what Adobe is hoping. They're going to go quiet and let it fizzle out. We'll see if that happens. If not, I'll shout it from the rooftops.
Well, I also appreciate that you're realistic about it. You know, like, yeah, it's probably going to go nowhere, but you know, it's worth talking about for sure. I think that's awesome that you're realistic about it.
We had to do it. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. We do have some support here, that's just directly for you. So I want to make sure that we get to this. And you mentioned not having risque content on your channel. We do. As patriotic, patriotic Gasol came in with a $50. There you go. Let's go. Enjoy that for what it's worth. Lunduke, I'm sure you're enjoying this as you refusing to look at the screen. He's refusing to look at the screen. That's outstanding.
I am one of the most prudish guys you will ever met. I see people kissing too much in movies and I start to blush a little bit. My teenage daughter makes fun of me for it. So it's
well, chat. You know what to do. You know what to do.
Oh my goodness.
Panikin Skyfaller says, Lunduke, what's up? I know you're hitting us with serious stuff, but just a bit of levity. Could you quickly recap the Pokemon Go CIA connection story and the you wouldn't seal a purse irony story? What is that? What's going on there?
I don't know what the purse thing is. I know what the Pokemon Go thing is.
Please.
But do you want the Pokemon Go thing?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. So many years back, you guys know Pokemon Go. So many years back, I did a story when it was a very new game about how crazy it was that Pokemon Go had psychotic levels of permissions on Android phones, right? Like it had access to your whole storage system. It had 24/7 access to your microphone in the early initial builds, your camera, your GPS, your location. I'm like, man, this is like the greatest spy tool ever created. Someone created a thing where you hold your phone in front of you, walk around, it tags and locates everything and sends it back to a company. So I looked into it and I realized that the company behind Pokemon Go, Niantic, was actually funded by the CIA. And that's an actual thing, right? So it was funded by the CIA. And in fact, one of the guys on the board of directors for Niantic now, Gilman Louie, used to run an organization called InQtel, which is the CIA's investment venture capital firm. And he'd been given the CIA bronze medallion and gold star and all these different awards for investing into things like Pokemon Go. So I put this story out there and my phone starts ringing and I started going. I went on, we did a show on the History Channel about it. We did, I got to go on Coast to Coast AM, the old Art Bell show. I got to go on that one talking about it. Basically, I did the rounds of conspiracy theorist radio talking about the CIA doing this. And for years, everyone was like, Lunduke, you're nuts. You're nuts. You're crazy. And then it got confirmed a few months ago. Like they literally came out and were like, yeah. The CIA absolutely funded this, and we're using it to map out the insides of your homes down to like within inches and map out who's in your homes, including people who don't use it. And yeah, we're totally selling that. Like they confirmed it. And I'm like, finally, I've been out here and I've been the crazy person for the last 10 years on the Pokemon CIA story. And it finally got confirmed. And I'm like, thank you. It was nice. It was nice to have that verification.
Wow.
So that's the Pokemon Go thing. It's been a fun story. Now they've got an artificial intelligence 3D mapping system where they can use AI, and they're selling it to a Saudi organization now. They're to do mapping of the inside of your home, so you can say, "Hey, AI system, find Craig from the side scrollers, and where is he probably at right now?" And they can come back with, "Well, he's probably, here's a 3D map, on this toilet. At this time, he is on this toilet. That's where he probably is." And so that's crazy to me that technology exists, but it came from a Pokemon video game. That's nuts to me.
That I'll tell you this. We do know that at any given point, roughly 25% of our audience is on the toilet. So there's a good opportunity that's happening. And I do spend most of my day on the can anyways, so yeah.
Why not? It's comfortable. You get a good toilet going. It's amazing.
Blabs, don't roll your eyes. You know what's going on.
Listen, the only comfortable ones are the one in Japan because they're nice and heated.
You can get a heated potty here. It's okay.
Yeah, but it's not the same.
It's not if it's not on an island in the Pacific, man. I don't want it.
It's just not the same.
It's not the same.
All right, we have this from Kratos says, I'm in the software industry at a large company. Earlier this year, our CEO said in a company-wide meeting that they're still going to practice DEI, but decentralize and rename it. DM for more info.
Kratos Algratos, DM me. I'm over on X, Lunduke Journal. Send me a message. I want a copy of that email. I want a copy of it. Let's get it out there. Yes. I mean, sunlight is the best disinfectant on this stuff. So let's just put it out there and people can make up their own minds. I also, if you go to lunduke.com, there's a link down at the bottom that says become a tech whistleblower. I have a few tips in there for how to send me information while retaining your anonymity, your privacy. If you don't want me to even know who you are, that's a great way to do it. There's a lot of different ways, including ways you can send me like multi-gigabyte video files and all sorts of stuff. Just go look at that first and think about it before contacting me and sending me information. I've never given up an informant or a whistleblower, and I never will. But give yourself the extra peace of mind if you're really worried about it, and follow those steps.
Master Gawa says it's political to the left if you aren't woke. Meanwhile, they ignore that Hitler was a socialist, so they can pretend they would oppose him as they openly support Soros and loved working for Hitler. There you go, Master Gawa. Thank you for that.
Yep.
A Great White says Montez, which is an inside joke on the show, says also glad to have Lunduke on. More light needs to be shown on the leftist plague infesting tech.
Couldn't agree more.
Marlon says lots of old school companies didn't know you can create a Corpo account as a Google account. Is why this is common in most bigger companies, especially long-standing ones. Talking about the Gmail.
And what's really crazy, I've been at companies where they created a Gmail account to run their YouTube channel. And then the person who created the Gmail account left the company, and then the whole corporation is left scrambling trying to get access to the gosh darn thing. It happens more often than you'd think. Even at big companies like IBM's and Microsoft's, even they do it stupidly.
I think that's the thing that people don't realize is that, yes, these people are incredibly smart who work at these companies, but they're also humans and incredibly stupid.
So dumb. So dumb.
Really dumb people.
Real dumb. It's great.
Video Gamer says, got a tip for Lunduke's reaction to boobies. Started watching some of his videos after you said he was going to be on Side Scrollers. Seems like a genuinely good dude.
He does. He doesn't seem bad.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
had a good laugh at the absurdity of culturally sensitivity computer science textbooks for Latinos. What? The other day. What is? Please tell us more. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. So we all know the Doge canceling of a lot of crazy funded projects, right? We've all been following that. The National Science Foundation gives out huge numbers of grants to so many different projects all across the country. They got canceled in bulk in April, especially right around the middle of April. I mean, we're talking hundreds and thousands of projects. One of those projects, and it's a small number, but it's still very funny, was $300,000 to create a computer science textbook specifically for Latinos that would use culturally appropriate references in the teaching of the C programming language, which I think is funny because C. But they literally created they're to create a Latino programming book, which I'd never even thought of that before. Like that never occurred to me. I can't possibly learn how to program because this textbook does not have any culturally significant references for me. Like, I don't see any Irish references in here.
Wow.
I'm out. I don't know what's going on. But apparently we were going to pay $300,000 for that textbook, but that got canceled, thankfully.
I have this ongoing theory, and I think it's more than a theory at this point. It's almost been proven right that the vast majority of all this stuff comes from like super liberal white women who have like cats, and that's it. They don't have families. They're career women, and it's so sad. They just feel this incredible guilt.
Now, one interesting tidbit. As I've been going through all of the canceled computer science related grants that have all been canceled in bulk, mostly in April, over half of them that I've cataloged so far come from either Washington State or Oregon State. So if you're wondering what part of the country gets most of the taxpayer money to do weird woke computer science projects, it's Oregon and Washington. It's the Pacific Northwest is where over half of that money seems to be going.
Doesn't surprise me.
Interesting.
Yeah,
to say the least. All right. We do have some more supers and some support. Commodore fan says, for Lunduke, thank you for what you do, as your show makes my work day go by much smoother. But I'm curious, what are some of your favorite open source alternatives to Adobe, Microsoft, and Red Hat, such IBM,
etc.? There's lots of alternatives out there. If you're like, okay, Adobe, I'm going to flip over the table, scream some expletives at you, and never use your software again. I mean, there's alternatives. You use, instead of Photoshop, you use the GIMP.
Wait, you can't say that's offensive.
I've been told that. Here's a fun story. All right, so the GIMP is the GNU image manipulation program. It is the Photoshop alternative in the world of Linux and open source, for those of you who aren't familiar with it. The name was deemed so offensive that an entire fork of the GIMP was created called Glimps, because it was the exact same thing as the GIMP but wasn't named the GIMP anymore. I thought that was funny that they created an entire fork of a piece of software just so it wouldn't be called the GIMP. So I went out and I made an article or a show or something, and I called it a woke fork. Apparently, that caused utter chaos. The woke fork died, and to this day, the individuals behind it still rant and rave about the evils of Lunduke, who killed their woke fork by calling it a woke fork, which, again, the whole make me feel virile thing. Yeah, so there you go. So GIMP is great. Video editing sucks in open source, though. Like, if you want to, like, you guys know,
yes.
There's Kadian Live is probably one of the best ones that's available, and it sucks. I use it a lot. It's terrible. I recommend it. It's the worst. It's crashy. It's buggy. It's slow. It doesn't have as many features, but it's free and it's open source and it's not Adobe. So how important is it to you to not be using Adobe stuff? For me, it's pretty gosh darn important. For reasons, but it's the options are terrible. GIMP is great. Once you get used to using GIMP, it's great. but the video editing, no, you're up a creek, buddy. There's just there's not a lot of good open source options.
You can well, I use DaVinci Resolve, but that's that's free.
See, yeah, I mean, DaVinci Resolve is better. I like DaVinci Resolve, but it's not, GNU license or something like that. Right. So, yeah.
Shield your eyes, Lunduke.
We're doing this again. All right, how bad is
Patriotic Gestalt came in with the 50, says Lunduke. Any opinions on PewDiePie's using Linux video? Just got a couple more seconds. Hang tight. There we go.
I feel like I should just give him a glimpse of the 150.
Oh my heavens. You people with your inappropriateness.
I know.
Did you guys see the PewDiePie thing at all?
Oh yeah, we talked about it. Yeah.
Okay, so when PewDiePie came out and said, "Oh my gosh, everyone should use Linux," there was a riot in the leftist of the open source world. I don't know if you guys saw this, but basically, major creators and leaders of big open source projects came out and said, no PewDiePie fans and followers. They're all fascists and Nazis, and we won't have a Nazi bar here. They like to talk about Nazi bars a lot.
Yep.
And so they're literally still in the process of trying to figure out ways to identify PewDiePie fans and find ways to prohibit them from joining their open source communities and like their forums and whatnot to get support for their open source software, which is fascinating to me. It's fascinating to me that people so focused on openness and freedom are like, no, I don't like that you are a fan of this weird YouTuber dude, so therefore you can't use my software. To me, that's just truly bizarre. But it's an ongoing thing right now. But yeah,
it's people are so in their bubbles, so that they just can't anything. There's the old there was the meme from a few years ago about like the person standing on the left, and then as people went further and further left, he ended up going further and further right, but he was still in the exact same spot.
Yeah, he didn't move.
He didn't move at all, right?
Yeah,
I think that's how most people feel, today, and they look at all the insanity happening, and they're like, what? I'm sorry, what is happening right here? I don't even understand it, and that's how you get.
I got you to censor yourself there. Nice job, buddy. I caught that. You almost dropped an F-bomb, and you're like, no, I can't do it. Can't do it.
If I want to drop a fucking F-bomb, I'm going to drop a fucking F-bomb. I'm going to tell you right now, all right? Oh, my God. Yes, this is the article we were talking about last week. And here's your video right here talking about it. The PewDiePie fans not allowed. This is just absolutely silly to talk about. But,
it's bizarre. It's really weird. I mean, one, it's just a YouTuber dude saying what operating system he picked. Like right. In and of itself, is that interesting? I mean, no. I just don't think it's that interesting. The reaction to it, well, now it's an interesting story. Now this has gotten weird. Now we're gonna start flipping over tables and barricading the gates of the city because PewDiePie says Linux Mint looks pretty nice. Like, that's the weirdest response.
It's amazing to see. It really is. By the way,
they lost their minds.
Yes. Welcome to tech and gaming. Everybody's lost their freaking mind. And those who haven't are afraid to speak out about it.
Yeah.
It's insane. We have Mac came in, says, thank you very much. Good open shot is good for video editing. Thanks, Mac.
Open shot's all right.
Hillside Scrollers, I'm not sure if this is an area of tech which Lunduke has any involvement in, but has he heard of right to repair movement?
Absolutely. Louis Rossman and all the people pushing the right to repair is critical. I mean, when you can't fix your own hardware, that sucks. I mean, you should be able to fix your own gosh darn hardware. When you've got laptops where the memory is friggin' glued onto the board, that really sucks. So I'm a big fan of the right to repair guys. I was actually scheduled to go speak at a FUTO conference. I don't know if you guys are aware of those. FUTO is a software company they work with Louis Rossman and the right to repair folks a bit, and they do some open source stuff. And I was scheduled to go out and speak to them and at a conference that they held at South by Southwest this year. And we had to cancel it because a bunch of crazy leftists said they were going to descend upon the event and kill me. So we had to, cancel a bunch of those sorts of things. But I'm a big fan of the right to repair stuff.
All right. Very classy of them. That's good.
Yeah, they're classy folk.
That's right.
I say folk because I haven't a clue what their gender is, so I don't. Folk. Well, I guess.
That's folks with an X at the end of it. The classy.
Oh, sorry,
folks.
my bad. Oh my gosh, me and my problematic language again.
Ridiculous. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. We usually go another 15 minutes or so, Lunduke, but I'll give you the chance to bounce if you want, or you can stick around and stick around for one more story if you like.
I actually have to bail. I've got a radio show I've got to go hop on in a couple of minutes. So it's one of those busy days, man. It's Monday, y'alls. But just to put it out there, I was telling some of my audience that I was going to be hanging out and chatting with you guys, and they got rather excited. So
cool.
You guys are great. Keep up the good work. Keep sticking it to them, and
we'll do.
Keep getting called fascist because it means you're doing something right.
That's right. Well, we'll definitely have you back. I feel like a collaboration coming on just based off of simple philosophy of things. So
I can feel it.
All right. Hey, pleasure to talk to you. We'll talk to you again soon. Everyone go check out the Lunduke channel. You can find it, Lunduke Journal. It's available
Links
right
are
here.
in below.
Yep, all right there.
Links are amazing. Just subscribe somewhere that's not YouTube, because who knows when they're going to give me the boot any day now. So
excellent. Go to the wonderful biosphere of lunduke.com. There you go.
Page. Look at that. I need a little under construction animated GIF at the bottom or something like that.
Or
a real GeoCities flare.
You need a hit counter as well.
Oh, I should put a hit counter in. Oh, I got my weekend project. Thank you, man.
All right, man. We'll see you later. Okay, take it easy.
Bye, everybody.
All right.
Have a good one.
Well, that was fun. That was great. Everyone go check out Lunduke over on his channel over there. No, okay, don't do that. We're just so you know, we're gonna keep going, Lunduke. Just heads up. So if you want to bounce, by all means.
I'm just gonna click the button.
Okay, well, see you later. There he goes. All right, go check out his stuff. Really fun conversation right there, Eric. Thanks for putting that on the radar, man. That was excellent. Yeah,
I never met the guy, but I thought it was an interesting story. So
yeah, really good stuff. We did hit our Montez goal while that was going on. Didn't want to stop down the middle of that riveting conversation to do Montez. So Eric, you get to pick. You get to pick Montez today. Some ones we have not seen yet include TMNT, Ninja Turtles, and that's it. But outside of that, we have Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Mario, The Moon, Dustborn.
Ninja Turtles. I've been wanting to see Ninja Turtles since he talked about it. So
let's check it out.
Bitch!
Let's go.
Damn level. Yes.
It's great stuff. Hey, Fluffy, thank you very much for your hard work on those. That was outstanding. Fluffy Pro putting those together. All right, we do have one more story today, which is our thumbnail story, which I would have been really intrigued to hear Lunduke's take on this. But yeah, here it is. We're talking President Trump with his tariffs and when it comes to Hollywood movies. And look, I want to always like to start off by saying, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about when it comes to tariffs or politics or Hollywood and stuff, but we're going to go there. But if you're looking for an expert, we have Blabs on that.
What?
I think 99% of people don't know what they're talking about when they talk about tariffs.
That's right. So here we go. We have this, Eric, from Truth Social as President Trump. Blabs, why don't you read this in your best President Trump voice?
Oh, I don't have a Trump voice. Damn. Okay, I'm just gonna do my voice because
no, that's why I said your best President Trump voice.
Yeah, but I don't have one, so I feel like it'd be a really big disservice. So I'm just gonna do my own. Side note: today's the very last day of Skype ever. ever. Goodbye. Okay. Donald J. Trump at Real Donald Trump says the movie industry in America is dying a very fast death. Other countries are offering all sorts of incentives to draw filmmakers and studios away from the United States. Hollywood and many other areas within the USA are being devastated. This is a concerted effort by other nations and therefore a national security threat. It is, in addition to everything else, messaging and propaganda. Therefore, I am authorizing the Department of Commerce and the United States Trade Representative to immediately begin the process of instituting a 100% tariff on any and all movies coming into our country that are produced in foreign lands. We want movies made in America again.
All right.
Now, question, what does he mean, like, producing movies from another country in bringing them in? So even like, let's say Marvel, which is an American company, it's being filmed in the United Kingdom. Avengers Doomsday, is that part of the tariffs?
These are all
I'm not
questions.
sure how you tariff a movie production.
I also
understand
don't think this is the best idea anyway, because let's say you film somewhere else in another country because of the
location,
setting
like
there,
you wanna
location.
Yeah.
Let's say you're making a movie on Shakespeare. You're not going to make it in America. You're going to go to Europe and you're going to film on like location, on settings or sets and everything there. I don't really know how this works.
I know this.
The movie industry in America is dying a very fast death.
There you go. Look, I don't know how this is going to work either. I think the idea is that we just want more movies produced in America, right? And there are a number of different places outside of Hollywood that you can now produce movies. Obviously, Texas is making a big push. Georgia has a huge production space out there. A lot of places in the southern United States, as I know, Nashville.
They filmed a lot of, for example, we're talking about Marvel. You filmed a lot of Avengers Endgame and Infinity War in Atlanta, like a lot of it. I think almost all of it.
Right. Well, this is from IGN. It says Trump announces 100% tariff on all non-U.S. movies. Says President Trump declared he will have an impending 100% tariff on movies produced in foreign lands, as he deemed it a national security threat. So that's what he read. It says, at this stage, it's completely unclear how such a tariff would work in a practical sense or what productions would be specifically affected. A host of countries around the world do offer a spectrum of tax incentives that make it financially attractive for overseas productions to film in places like the UK, Australia, and a variety of European territories. However, it's also a reality that movies often shoot overseas because they want to transport their characters and viewers to fanciful and exotic locations. How this decree would subsequently impact the future of, say, a globe-trotting action franchise like James Bond, John Wick, Extraction, Mission Impossible, etc., is totally unclear. It's also unclear how this new tariff would affect movies that are currently in production or already completed, why this plan doesn't include TV productions or what the fallout will be for U.S. movies around the world if retaliation follows the penalization international productions for wanting to show their movies to U.S. audiences. Yeah, I mean, there's obviously a lot unclear about this. I mean, I don't really have a whole lot to say. I don't even know where to start with this because it's so out of my wheelhouse.
What he usually does with a big ask, right?
What's that?
A big ask is he says something outlandish, like we're going to put 100% tariff on movies, and then it's to kind of meet in the middle somewhere. And maybe this doesn't turn into tariffs, but something more like more incentives for production companies to film inside the United States, because a ton of productions are filmed. Like British Columbia has so many movies and TV shows produced in it that are set in the United States, but they film in Canada because it's cheaper and they get tax breaks up there.
Oh yeah.
I think it's more of trying to bring productions back to the United States if they're filmed or if they're set in the United States. I feel like that's where he's trying to go. I think that's the motive for this.
That makes sense. And on a base level, and I do feel like there are a lot of times where Trump will throw something out and with the intention of getting a better deal, the old art of the deal type of thing.
what's interesting is that this post is not available over on X, but over on True Social. Usually,
Well, he does most of his stuff over there.
yeah, he does post things over on X though. So
not as much though.
Yeah. You know what's interesting about this? I was looking at the BBC as well, and BBC Blabs means what?
Big black cockadoodle do.
No, British Broadcasting Company.
No, British Broadcasting Corporation.
That too. But they do actually talk about how Hollywood has seen a tremendous downturn, you know, over the last few years, and obviously started with COVID, and it started to pick back up a little bit. But you know, there hasn't been an appetite to go see movies in the theater per se. Over the
box
last
office was really down.
Right. So curious what other people are talking about this. Eric July, obviously known for creating all sorts of entertainment, says entertainment protectionism is silly, especially when you consider what type of material Hollywood has produced as of late. That said, I wonder how far this logic will extend if it eventually hits video games and such. Many have went to the East, for example, for their entertainment. Some have actually almost exclusively replaced all their entertainment with Japanese material. And I think that's actually a really good question, you know, when it comes to like video games and such. Will this affect video games? Will this, if there is success when it comes to, let's say for some reason this does work, right? Could there be a 100% tariff on video games made in Japan or produced in Vietnam? I don't know, whatever, that are not U.S. made, with the intention of driving development back to the United States, where, you know, because there definitely is a I don't know, different ideas of how. I mean, we see this with companies all the time, where companies in the East per se, they are not afraid of showing, you know, the human element, the human body, right? Female body or whatever. Whereas, you know, here in the United States, you're seeing this amalgamation of generic boy and girl, you know, and there's definitely just different philosophies on it. So, Verbal Riot, who was just on the show this past week, who works in Hollywood, says, I'm not sure I fully agree with Trump's tariff on foreign movies, but I'm curious what the turnout will mean for the film industry. Also, with everything being digital, how do you even regulate this? Yeah, it's a logical question here. So, yeah. So, you know, there's a couple of the responses. I think it's just like a big, like, I don't know, you know, and I'm sure there's a bigger thought process on this. I don't know, Eric, do you have any like general thoughts on this idea of tariffing movies?
Yeah, I agree with right there. I don't know how you regulate this. I don't know, like, what are you charging 100% on? Like the distribution contract or price, like the price it costs to put the movie in theaters gets tacked on with basically double the price now. Is that what they're going for? And what about a lot of movie productions take place in multiple countries? Like they'll shoot in Australia, they'll shoot in Georgia, they'll shoot in Canada, depending on where this scene takes place, or if they hide their budget somewhere for the tax breaks in multiple countries, they get multiple tax breaks, stuff like that. So I honestly don't know how you tariff a movie production. So I believe a lot of people are saying that too. So I don't know. It's almost like he's thinking in his mind when he said this announcement that DVDs of movies produced in, you know, foreign countries will be double the price now, if that's where the mentality is at, or I don't know the logistics of it. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll as with all this stuff, we will see. I have no idea how this is going to affect. I am not smart when it comes to all these things. I have my areas of expertise. Tariffs is not one of them, friends. I'm sorry. I wish I could speak to it, but I truly don't know. But I think it is worth talking about. It is worth interesting, at least addressing that. This is a pretty damn big idea, you know, in the world of entertainment, you know. So movies are already expensive to go to. You're paying $15. You know, I don't want to spend $150 to bring my kids to go see a movie after popcorn and drinks and all this stuff, right? Like that's what we're dealing with. And all of a sudden this could end up at, you know, $300 to go see a movie. I don't want to see that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think that would kill the industry.
Oh, 1000%.
So I mean, theaters are already struggling. So
And maybe
Minecraft
that's
saved them for the year, but
maybe that's the 4D chess that we're playing here. Just saying, maybe he is trying to kill the theaters. Who knows? I don't know. All right. I do know that you guys have been outstanding today with your support, and we have some super chats to get to, including Naranja Rojo says, used to mock fight with my dumb friend in middle school, lost balance and drop kicked him off a trampoline by accident. I thought the landing killed him until he sat up and wheezed. We Gucci. That's awesome. Good for you and your friend. Ian, my boy, says maybe that Asian chick earlier was breaking a stack of Freaky Friday DVDs. Thank you, Ian. Epsilon Sama says, is Falcon building the West Coast Avengers to combat the new Avengers? He lives in DC, so maybe it's going to be called Mid-Atlantic Adventures, the Oreo Adventures, due to DC demographics. Also, Montez. These are all wonderful questions that we just do not know how to answer. Panic and Skyfaller says, it'd be awesome if Lunduke and Kirsha got together to break down with receipts how Robbie Starbuck, in my opinion, is a lying grifter fraud. How about you do that? I mean, they are great at what they do, but, just throwing it out there. Kratos El Kratos says, I've been using VSDC for video editing. What's your opinion? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't get to that, Kratos. On the PewDiePie Linux thing, socialists only like to give away free stuff to people that fall in line with their regimen, their regime. Yes. Panic and Skyfaller says that other story was about that old anti-piracy video that was pirated. Oh, yes. Did you guys see that story? The if you wouldn't steal a car video from the 90s, and you saw that they apparently they pirated.
You wouldn't download a car.
Yeah. Did you see they apparently pirated the text in that video?
Oh, the font.
Yeah, the font.
They didn't buy a license for it.
It's so stupid.
Oh my God. Pirate font.
That's right. Marius says, this is dumb, to be honest. Imagine Lord of the Rings set in Arizona.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, let me counter that and say that
all green screen anyways.
Right. It's all green screen.
What do you mean? There was
I mean, most of the Lord of the Rings was shot, but if you're talking about like Rings of Power, that's all.
Yeah, but nobody refers to that because it's just slop. Like real movies and stuff like that, they have more practical effects mixed in with a healthy dose of CGI and all of that. At least of today, that would be nice instead of all just CGI green screens. So.
Mika says, Blabs, if you fail, you get what happens in MK1. Wist says, being able to recast any movie with fan favorite castings of characters is going to be wild. Yeah, that's what we were talking about. Frost says, my worst trampoline accident was flying off one and landing in a wasp's nest. God, that sounds horrible. Lamar says, congrats on your new comic book, Yellow Flash. Oh, sorry about that, Lamar. Appreciate your support. Steven says, next thing we know, Blabs will be skydiving without a parachute.
No, I went with a parachute.
Oh, look at you. Nathan says, fully AI generated films already exist. Two that I found of note are The Frost and The Park. And those were using older AI iterations of AI. Saint says, with Snape now being black, he has a staff instead of a wand. Spoon says, can you ask Lunduke to tell you about Microsoft's healthcare and policies about transing children? Sorry, he had to get on his radio call. Joey says, getting called a Nazi and wishing you were dead by the crazy wokies should be considered a badge of honor at this point. Hidden Jim Gamer says, recently backed a movie starring Kevin Sorbo on Indiegogo. It's called Alien Storm. Kevin's a cool guy. You think you'd have him on your podcast? Yeah, we'd love to have Kevin Sorbo on the podcast. Love to have Hercules on. It'd be great. Why not? Dude, hey, by the way, what do you think about a Dean Cain, Kevin Sorbo nerd duel? Maybe we can get a third action hero or something in there. I'm just saying, it'd be fun. Mercenary says, Blabs is fired again. That's right. So did you see the China robot freaking out? No, I did not, Mercenary, but we all know robots will be the death of us. Game Hunter says, Blabs, my mom is looking forward to your tile training. Oh, okay. With the Chun Li cosplay. She's a huge WWE and sports fan. Craig, Sting is her favorite wrestler. Let's go. Thank you very much. Yeah, we'll get you popping them blocks, Blabs.
Yeah.
Marius came in. Sorry, Maximus.
It was that Brie Larson's feet.
Sure is.
Oh.
Max says, Lunduke, Blender for videoing? Oh, sorry, Max, once again. Mercenary says, Trump means the company out of China making the movie versus one here in America because of the laws. Where China has a law, they can't be bad guys. SPZ says, if the tariffs affect animes and Korean movies, then it's an L because they save our lives during the Hollywood slops era. Max says, one big reason movies are made in foreign countries is because a lot of common places in the U.S. demand way too much money for film there. The heart is in the right place, but the problem is local. I agree. I think the heart here, the idea is good. How is it executed? That's the biggest thing. Mika says, sorry, Blabs, if you feel Craig gets the MK result. I don't know what that is, Miku. And Max says, there are quite a few exotic-looking locations within the U.S. to film at. The problem is local from unions to taxes to permits all stack up, something Trump will have a hard time with affecting. This is very true. Kratos says, did he mention movie filming or just productions? Is this mainly targeting studios that aren't based in USA? Probably Chinese ones. But I don't see how you can tariff Jack Sparrow. And Commodore Fan says, back in the mid-90s before the Nets, one of my cousins climbed up on the roof of my parents' house drunk, went to jump off on the trampoline. He missed it, hit the side springs with no padding, bloody ear, and broken arm. Oof. Gross. Thanks for that. Look at that. Here we go. We got Gina Carano, Kevin Sorbo, and Dean Cain for Nerd Duel. Love that, Reese.
I feel like Gina would be extremely hard to get. Maybe like Matthew Marsden instead.
I don't know. We'll make this happen.
Let's talk to Jay.
Yeah. We'll see if we can make that happen.
I can talk to Gina.
Yeah, that's good. All right, Eric, you got anything going up on Yumi and the movies?
Today's reaction is Vanilla Sky.
Oh,
you ever seen that Tom Cruise movie about?
Yeah,
it's kind of messed up about dreams.
Mm-hmm.
I was a big fan. My wife hates dream movies, so.
Oh, okay. What's the best dream movie ever?
Inception's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed Vanilla Sky, but I would have to go with Inception.
Okie dokie. All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Hit the thumbs up button on your way out. Let's get to 1,000. We need 300 of you guys to hit that thumbs up button right now. I really need to do a better job of letting you guys know what's going on with that. If you guys really like us and if you would like to support the show, head over to sidestrollers.plus.com. We have it's like 3 YouTube channels thrown on to one outlet. All right, this is what we're doing over there. So head over there. And of course, if you're new to us over here on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. Lots of new videos heading your way. Appreciate you guys popping in. Have a great rest of your day. And remember, people are going to try to keep you down. Don't let them. You guys got a goal. Go get it. Go check out Yumi and the movies and subscribe, of course, here. See you guys later. Have a great day. Bye-bye.